"Hello, Baldur's Gate!" yelled Heavy MeTav. He immediately thought to himself that the thaumaturgy contraption that the gnomish artificers had created was amazing. He'd never heard his voice so loud before. His fans seemed to be loving the concert. Not only was money being thrown onto the stage, but certain fabrics of the audience were making their way up there too. He knew his band was one of a kind. Nobody else used magic to create such loud music. However, this was his downfall. It seems like all of the noise he was producing had caught the attention of some flying contraption that nobody had seen coming, because of course, his show is just that good. Once again, as with the last video, there's no game sound in this video in the recording and I don't have time to go and record it, but the issue has been fixed. We'll be back to normal operation from the next video. And here is Heavy MeTav. He is of course an entertainer, which gives him proficiency in acrobatics and performance. These are help with his shows. He is a half elf, a half drow, though he looks more drow than human, and he picked up strength and dexterity for his ability score improvements. He does get dancing lights, which has helped with some shows in the past, creating some cool lights, Fey ancestry and dark vision. His appearance, this is actually his performance makeup and hair dye. This isn't his natural appearance, but this is how he looked like while performing and taken up onto the Nautiloid. He is of course a bard. So for his cantrips, he has picked up Friends and Vicious Mockery. Friends because he's had to make his way up in the world, and sometimes it's more about who you know than what you know. And Vicious Mockery because he does sometimes get into fights, but verbal fights rather than physical ones. For his spells, he picks up Fairy Fire. Again, this is kind of to help with the shows, create some sparkling lights all around. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Thunderwave can be used for some performance tricks. And Disguise Self, again, he's had to sneak around sometimes. His style of music isn't necessarily well loved all around Faerun. And he's picked up a lyre for his instrument, and he will collect any instruments that he finds. For his skills, deception and intimidation, people are intimidated by his look, like this when he's all dressed up. And deception, again, he's sometimes had to perhaps lie and manipulate the truth to get concerts given to him. And athletics, to, as it says here, perform physical stunts. And that's what he has been doing on stage before. For his abilities, he's got 14 for strength, dexterity, and constitution, and a charisma of 16. So let's just see what Heavy MeTav can get up to. At level 2, we get some more hit points, another spell slot, Jack of all trades, so we get half the proficiency bonus rounded down to ability checks we're not proficient in, so it's +1 for now. Song of Rest, and we get to pick a spell. Heavy MeTav has realised the gravity of the situation, and to go with Song of Rest, he's picked Healing Word, because he knows his teammates might need a little bit of a pick-me-up at some point during battles, and he doesn't need to replace any spells at the moment. At level 3, we get to pick our subclass, or the college, that our bard, Heavy MeTav, is going to follow. He's going to pick the College of Valour, and before we get to that, he's picked 2 skills for expertise, which are athletics to help him with his performance on stage, and so he's also picked up performance. And so he's going to get medium armour proficiency, shield proficiency, and martial weapon proficiency. He's getting all the metal things, so the spell he's picked is heat metal. And at level 3, as a drow, half elf, or as a drow I suppose, he gets to learn Fairy Fire, so he is actually going to replace Fairy Fire with Enhanced Ability to help him in his travels or someone in his party on their travels. And finally at level 4 we get a new cantrip. We're going to pick up Blade Ward. His spell is going to be Hold Person, and then the feat is going to be Heavily Armoured, hence Heavy MeTav. We'll see what items he ends up with, but this gives him proficiency in heavy armour and strength +1, bringing his strength to 15. And we're going to go and get the Hag's Hair to make that strength to 16. So then he's going to be able to use his martial weapons fairly effectively. So for his items, I've gone very far down into Grymforge, defeated Grim, made some adamantine armour. And so we start off with a Grim Skull Helm, so that prevents critical hits, and when a melee attack hits him, the attacker is sent reeling for 2 turns. I'll show you reeling later. Adamantine Splint Armour, very similar, except armour class 17 and sent reeling for 3 turns. The Gloves of Flint and Steel, kind of going for as much as I can, kind of a metal theme if I can. So when the wearer deals fire damage, the target has to succeed a Constitution saving throw or start burning. The only way that he's got to deal fire damage consistently might only be heavy metal. Heat metal, and maybe alchemist fire and fire arrows, but that's about it really. The water sparkers, this is mostly to actually link up with some other item which we'll get to, but it's when the wearer stands in water during combat, it becomes electrified, the water, and then if he starts his turn in an or on an electrified surface, he gains 3 lightning charges. The necklace, we have a silver pendant, which then gives him guidance. The ring of fire, this is to link up with the gloves of flint and steel. And the sparks wool, so we can't be electrocuted, and we have a resistance to lightning damage, so we can stand in water and be safe and gain lightning charges and electrocute enemies. Then for the weapon is the sparky points. This is one of the most metallic looking weapons I could find. He could wear any one-handed weapon here, not a problem. Adamantine shields, so when a melee attack misses you, the attacker is sent reeling for 1 turn. And giant breaker, your weapon hits hard enough to send your target reeling for 2 turns. So we've got kind of a couple of, or 3 different kind of sets of items here. One that inflicts reeling, another item that inflicts lightning charges, and then 2 kind of linked together that enhance fire damage at least. And this actually gives him loads of different options in combat. So his weapon doesn't deal the most damage normally, but he can have lightning charges. He can target enemies with spells such as heat metal or hold person. He can heal, he can give out inspiration, he can help outside of combat, he can use Tasha's hideous laughter. He's got Blade Ward for when he jumps into combat, and where this build where this build will come together is the use of Stage Fright and Reeling. Unfortunately, he can only get 1 or 2 people to get Reeling at a time, but let's see what happens after we cast Aid. Get Aid in there, make sure he doesn't die. So we're going to start a combat, and since we know we're going to start, I'm going to get this going. Oh, that was lucky. Alright, it's his turn next, nice and easy. So, first thing we can do, because I gave Gale the Rain Dancer, is create some water. So then Heavy MeTav here. Oh no, he doesn't have a melee attack, right. So Reeling, I'll show you that. First of all, I just want to point out, this goblin has got 5 turns of Reeling because of the combination of the helmet and the chest armor, the splint armor. So Reeling, recovering from receiving a terrible blow or hitting a strong metal, has a -1 penalty to attack rolls for every turn remaining. So that means from now on, he didn't have it here because he hadn't hit yet, but this goblin has a -5 penalty to hit against an armor class of 19. So that's pretty hefty. And what we can get, this is a bit over the top for a single goblin, but I just want to kind of bring all this together. Actually, if we get out the fire first. Oh, no, wrong one. Bane. Let's hope it works on the goblin. It might not, you know. So this goblin's got -5, -1d4, and what we're going to do now is use Stage Fright. So when this goblin attacks, if it misses, it takes 2d6 psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its attack rolls. So it's got disadvantage, -5, well maybe on its turn -4, -1d4, and we can increase the number of turns of Reeling when the goblin misses Heavy MeTav anyway, or we can hit it with Giant Breaker. Obviously, this goblin is in for a very bad time indeed. For a bonus action, let's give inspiration to Lae'zel since she's going next. So I might have just caught that, I wasn't actually recording the whole time. Well, Ragzlin's now got 9 turns of Reeling. Let's see what happened there, because that's quite a large amount. And it's because he hit Heavy MeTav for 2 different sources of damage, being bludgeoning and force. I did put Blade Ward on Heavy MeTav. He's actually suffering quite a lot now. So from now on, although Dror Ragzlin does have Bless, you know, adds 1d4, he's got -9, maybe -8 on his next turn. So he's pretty, I'd say pretty stuffed. So it's Warrior Huck's turn next. Quite interested to see how badly he does. Wait for the drum to finish. Oh, Lae'zel's gone. So let's just have a look at the attack roll. There we are, used, missed. So he rolled a 5, added 2, -5, -4. Yeah, he did really badly there. He had a 1 in total. So Heavy MeTav is having a bit of a hard time. He's running out of hit points already because he's standing in the middle. So we could try Heat Metal, although that's not a great idea because Dror Ragzlin has a high constitution, or relatively high constitution. So we could go for an attack, and currently we would have advantage against Dror Ragzlin. I'm also going to try with Lae'zel to create more water, so we can electrocute all those people. And so now we've got a decent-ish chance to kill Dror Ragzlin. Let's try it. There we are. Did exactly what we needed to. And there's this one left. Unfortunately, Sharp Eye Roo is wielding a ranged weapon, which means that he won't have opportunity attacks. And that would be ideal because he's got Stage Fright and he would die. So we're just going to take a potion And why not? Let's pick up Faithbreaker. I missed it, but Sharp Eye Rue took 11 psychic damage because they very, very much missed Heavy MeTav, which we'll see now. 3 disadvantage, so a total of 7, needing a 17 to actually do any damage. So we've got 4 lightning charges, which means we'll do just 1 extra damage. One nice thing about having the javelin here is we can rush in, not that we need to actually. Anyway, we're going to go and get this warlock. And now, since he's quite strong and he's got expertise in athletics, shove, it's an 85% chance. Gone. And somehow received 3 lightning damage from falling, which seems a bit strange. I guess it's from the fact that I had lightning charges. Did not realise lightning charges are applied to falling damage. Lazella's hurt down there, so next turn I might get Healing Word out, or maybe Shadowheart can do that actually. Although she's running out of spell slots already. During the previous turn, Warrior Druk missed, so got a turn of Reeling because of the shield. And again, because of the high strength and expertise, it's always worth trying to shove. Even if it doesn't work, it was definitely worth a try. And then, let's just have a look at Crippled, shall we? Disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. Alright, that's fine. So now they've got 3 turns of Reeling because the shield added 2. And now that Warrior Druk has hit Heavy MeTav, he's now got -7 to his attack rolls. Now we're kind of building up the number of enemies here, but Heavy MeTav was not silly. He did take Thunderwave, and before he does that, he's actually going to dip his weapon in fire. Just in case he actually does attack with his melee weapon in the next turn or 2. We're getting a slightly better position. Hopefully this misses. There we are. Reading anyway now. And hopefully down we go. Oh well, always worth a shot. In the previous turn, Zerga hit Heavy MeTav, hit for 9 damage, but now she's got -6 attack and -7 here. So kind of if Heavy MeTav can survive these attacks, he's getting very low on hit points, the more likely he is to win. He can definitely win in battles of attrition. Just needs a bit of healing from some companions. Let's help him out. Let's throw a potion of healing over this way. Oh, don't know why that didn't work. Yeah, maybe he'll survive 1 extra turn before needing to be picked up. And with every turn that they miss, because of the shields, the Reeling value just goes up and up and up. So if they keep using their weapon attacks, they've basically got no chance. I don't see how they're going to be able to start hitting him after a while, apart from critical hits, but then he's protected against critical hits anyway. Alright, so we're going to start building lightning charges. This damage was 1 and 1d4, but we've got +1 because of the ring. It doesn't look like the Gloves of Flint and Steel actually came into play there, or maybe we just don't see the saving throw. Bit of a risk. But if every time it works, it makes it less and less risky. Shove you. No worries, the spiders are going to join in now. So we're back here, and I mean, when it's kind of 1-on-1, kind of easy. Get advantage where we can. Oh, there. Extra fire damage. Oh, it looks like the lightning charge added an extra fire damage. Good stuff. Right, there's a Booyarg up here that needs to be dealt with. So the Booyarg is up this ladder. We can't quite reach it, so we're going to dash up there. And again, because of expertise and a decent strength score, I'm hoping... Oh, no, we're going back down. Still got bugs on ladders a little bit. I'm hoping we'll be able to shove this Booyarg right down without any real problems, to be honest. He got lightning damage from falling. Against lots of enemies, this can work out okay, but Reeling only really adds up when he gets hit. The whole Reeling thing starts off probably best when he does get hit, which is why we want Blade Ward. Have I used my Song of Rest? I have. Okay, I'm going to take a long rest. We're going to go see the ogre. Forgotten her name. Potema, actually, Potema. We're going to go see Potema, however we say it, and show you what Heavy MeTav can do. So I've sent the others to camp. Here's Polma, not Potema. I have no idea who Potema is. I have to look that one up afterwards. Polma. I've dipped both weapons in fire. And I'm going to start the combat like this, because if I hit with Giant Breaker, then Polma will have Reeling for 2 turns. I could, in theory, stay up here the whole time. I'm going to shoot her once more, and then head down. If I wanted to make this even more successful, I could take a potion of Heal Giant Strength, but I'm not going to do that. So we've got a hit with Daze, which isn't so good, but now she is Reeling for 7 turns. I'd assume she won't be able to hit us again. Do you know what? Just to be safe, let's have Blade Ward for this turn and next turn. And let's take a potion of healing. They're relatively common. A miss, and we saw that went from 7 up to 9. She rolled a 5. And it's going to be minus a whole bunch. Right, so we're still dazed, but that's fine apart from we can't take reactions, which is a bit sad. So what we're going to do now, in the hope that this works. Ooh, it's only 65% chance. Ah, it's a shame. If that had worked, then Polma would probably have just died in the next few turns, just from missing all the time. And that's kind of the ideal situation with this build with Heavy MeTav here. Let's go dip our weapon again. And another miss. And that's probably what I'll try and do every time. She should be up to 11 now. Or 10. Maybe 10's the maximum, I don't know. And let's just see here. Yeah, she had -8. Another miss. Yeah, -8. It seems to be maxing out at -8. Don't quite know why. And now piercing strike to add up the damage. Gaping wounds. I forgot to get extra reeling. There's basically no way she's going to hit. That's still -8? No, -11. -11, that's crazy. So even though she rolled a 19, the highest you can get without a critical hit, she still missed. Because we got -11. She's got +7 to her attacks, actually, which is quite a lot. And right now, she has disadvantage on Constitution saving throws because of reeling. Let's see, you could Thunder Wave, but that's not very useful. She's not holding anything metal. That would be amazing if she was. And I don't have anything else. Oh, we can Crippling Strike. Get another miss in there. -12. We kind of want her to keep on hitting us. We're completely safe. There's no way she can hit us. So we can just actually do this almost, not really speed run, but completely mindless. Click. Whatever. Make sure we're always dipping. -16 for a total of -6. So I'm really not worried at all. So like I said, if it's a one-on-one situation, this is almost ideal. It can be a bit dangerous at the start with the whole getting hit for a large amount. But when you're reeling for 21 turns, what are you going to do? Yeah, with a total of -9. Oh, is my weapon not on fire anymore? There we are. Getting lightning charges that make us more likely to hit. And the damage adds up. Yeah, like Polma's got 0 chance of doing anything now. And this works very well one-on-one because if there were other characters around and she starts hitting other people, she isn't building up the reeling condition, which is what we want to happen. So Heavy MeTav is going up against the 2 minotaurs. I've already started the fight. And this minotaur missed, so it's got 2 turns of reeling and I just used Vicious Mockery. And because we've got 2 fairly tough opponents, I am going to take a Potion of Hill Giant Strength to help in the future turns. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Okay, so this one started reeling, that one is as well. If I walk away, I've got Blade Ward, that's okay. They will both take opportunity attacks and miss. The more they miss, yes, the more likely they are to miss in the future. So it's the first few turns are the most sketchy, and then things get easier and easier. And again, just like I did with Polma, I'm just gonna make sure I stay alive. And then in a few turns, I will cast Stage Fright, and hopefully at least one of them will fail their saving throw. Alright, so I've got a fairly decent chance to hit. Let's start trying. I don't know why the Minotaur jumps around like this. Start building some lightning charges. Feeling fairly good now that they're going to miss all of their attacks. And 18 misses now. So, yeah, they're not going to be doing anything to me. Miss, 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 miss. Critical miss. And so what I'm going to try is Stage Fright. So here we go with Stage Fright. Oh, both of them failed. I should have maybe done the opportunity attack second. Never mind. So what we should see happening now is every turn they take, well, for 3 turns at least, they take 2d6 psychic damage. Plus opportunity attacks on top of that. So what I need to do is, and they take more damage. They take more damage, they're all just killing themselves, and I don't need to be using any other resources. And again, having the other party members is actually perhaps not the best idea. So I'm just going to be attacking. Their stage fight's going to end soon. And try and get as many attacks from them as possible, including opportunity attacks, critical miss. So they're basically killing themselves trying to attack. Oh no, the Frightful Presence is over now, which is a bit sad. So I'm going to try and focus on one at a time now. There's just no way they're going to hit me. I wonder if any of these have been critical hit or not. Look at all these ones that they were getting. I don't need to be provoking opportunity attacks anymore. Picked up the Great Club. Brilliant. Like that's going to make a difference. Oh, hit with tenacity, fair enough. That's a once per short rest thing from the Great Club. Not worried about that anymore. And I've lost the condition of Hill Giant Strength because I'm just hanging around, not really doing very much. So he's going to use, he's gonna have advantage now. 12. And I can just stand here poking him with the stick. Oh, I've been knocked prone. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to see if I can get a critical hit to come, that's all. Ooh, 18. And not from me, from them. Just to show that the helmet is working. So I'm going to keep trying that to see what happens. Let's just move away. Keep getting 18, I feel. No, minus 34 from reading. Do you know what I'm going to do? And I could have done this earlier, should have done this earlier, is throwing a potion of speed at them so they wear down, well, not wear down, but so they get reeling even more quickly. Oh, that didn't actually work, did it? Let's see if he goes through the potion of speed. Oh no, it somehow missed this cloud of potion of speed. Oh well, we'll take that. Yeah, look at us go. So I'm going to end it there. I think you can see that in small groups just how powerful having all this adamantine armour is. Oh, there's the brulette. That'll be a bit more difficult because the brulette actually disappears after some time. So let me know what you think. Obviously, you do need to get down to Grymforge and kill Grym. You can head straight there and kill Grym. Did it in the live stream, killed him at level 3. This is possible. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please do consider subscribing. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.